man got lost in the mountains and finally found a house to ask for directions. But to his shock, the woman inside suddenly rushed out, begging him to save her. She even put her daughter on his motorcycle and pleaded with him to take them away. When he turned around, he saw a familiar figure standing on the ridge. It was Hannah's husband, Jack. Hannah panicked, started the motorcycle, and tried to escape. But her daughter, Annie, who grew up in the mountains, resisted. She couldn't understand why her mother wanted to run, or why she was afraid of her father. Annie had a close bond with her dad and didn't want to leave. She struggled to jump off the bike, but her mother yanked her back. Desperate to escape quickly, Hannah even grabbed a rock and struck her own daughter. The truth was, Hannah had been kidnapped as a teenager and trapped in the swamp forest. Annie was the child she had with her abuser, Jacob, the so-called Swamp King. To toughen Annie up, Jack often took her hunting. Each time Annie killed an animal, he rewarded her with what he called a meaningful tattoo. On the surface, Jack appeared to love Annie, but whenever she disobeyed, he would throw her into a pit and keep her locked up until she submitted. Her mother pitied her and would secretly rescue her at night. Still, Annie never believed her mother loved her because her father constantly whispered that Hannah was a liar and a fool. That all changed the day Hannah dragged Annie out of the swamp and brought her to the police. There, she finally told Annie the truth.
He took me, Helena.
It became clear that Annie was strong-willed and didn't respect her mother. To keep her under control, the authorities locked her in an office. Looking out the window, Annie spotted a necklace dangling from a branch. It was her father's gift. She realized he had come for her. She kicked open the glass and escaped. Annie bolted into the street. It wasn't a busy part of town, but to her, it was a whole new world. Wide-eyed, she wandered into the road and nearly got hit by a car. Then she heard a familiar whistle. Her father was standing in an alley across the street. Annie ran into his arms, certain she was going home with him. But just as they took a few steps, the police surrounded them. The Swamp King, Jack, was finally arrested. 20 years later, Annie had adjusted to city life. She had a loving husband and a sweet daughter. She never told anyone about her childhood. Whenever people asked about her tattoos, she always tried to hide them, terrified her past would be exposed. She thought she could live peacefully forever. But one night, something happened that dragged her back into the abyss her father left behind.